There is, I think it was Public Citizen, one of the watchdog groups has just released this, hey, look out kind of note about what the American Legislative Exchange Council, ALEC, this group that was founded by Paul Weyrich or co-founded by Paul Weyrich way back in the 70s or the early 80s, that brings together twice a year Republican state legislators and corporate lobbyists, one-on-one. And they vote on legislation that will be introduced into the House of Representatives and the Senate in the various states or the assemblies, state assemblies, whatever they may be. And ALEC has been pushing this legislation calling for a constitutional convention to amend the Constitution for a balanced budget. 27 states so far have passed such resolutions. If 34 states pass them, then Congress has to respond, according to Article 5 of the Constitution. Now, why would conservatives be so hysterical about a balanced budget? This is something that you've been hearing your entire life. I've certainly been hearing my entire life. We need to balance the budget. We need to, we can't, a nation can't be in debt. You can't have debt. And for years, I've been scratching my head wondering why are conservatives so hysterical about this? I mean, this literally goes back to the founding of the Republic. Andrew Jackson ran for president on a platform of balancing the budget. And he did. It was, as far as I know, the one and only time that the United States had no debt whatsoever. And he not only balanced the budget, but paid off the national debt. It was like in 1834 or something like that. And what it provoked was the worst and the longest depression that the United States has ever experienced. So who are these people who are calling for a balanced budget? And it suddenly hit me. I mean, literally just suddenly hit me like an hour ago as I was reading this article about how, they're pushing this through. They've got it now through 27 states, trying to get to 34. Who it is who wants a balanced budget? It's the banksters. It's very straightforward. And of course, it was the banksters during Andrew Jackson's time, too. That was the big conflict, was whether there should be a national bank of the United States. Here's the deal. If you are fortunate enough to have more money than you need, you want to put that money in a safe place, right? You want to invest it in a safe place. Well, the stock market isn't always safe. So what do? You buy bonds. Bonds are safe. What's the safest bond on earth? U.S. federal government bonds. What is a bond? It's a debt instrument. It is the United States. When you buy a $10,000 U.S. Treasury bill, which you can then redeem, you buy it as a face value of $10,000. You buy it for $7,000, $8,000, whatever it is, and in 20 years it'll be worth 10 or 10 years, depending on the maturity and when it reaches. And that's how you make interest on it. When you buy that bond, you are loaning that money to the federal government, and they are obligated to pay it back to you when that bond becomes mature. So one side of the equation is that when you buy a federal bond, the government goes into debt. If you buy it directly from the government issues debt to raise money to, maintain government functions. But the other side of the equation is that when you buy a government bond, you are investing in something that's going to return interest to you with great safety. You have a safe investment. What happens if there's no federal debt? What if we have an absolute balanced budget and we pay off the national debt? Right now, the national debt is what, 15 trillion roughly? 17 trillion, whatever it is. Depends on whose numbers you're using, because some people include the Social Security Trust Fund in it, which is really not part of the national debts. Others don't. Some people include money that the government owes itself. Social Security is part of that, and others don't. If you don't include the money that the government owes itself, I think it's around 15 trillion. That's $15 trillion that basically has been invested in the United States. That's $15 trillion of people looking for a safe place to put their money. If the federal government is no longer offering that service, there's still $15 trillion in the United States, or $14 trillion in the United States and $1 trillion overseas worth of investors who want to put their money in government or in a safe place. They want to invest their money at a low interest rate with a high level of safety. If the federal government's no longer in that business, what do? What choice do they have but to go to the banksters? And the banksters will start inventing low-risk bonds, and the banksters will start making money off it. The federal government, it's... Do you get this? Suddenly it makes sense. I've been trying to figure out for years, because, having a national debt does not debase our currency. It doesn't hurt our country. It provides, stability, actually, for our country. Literally, having a national debt, it provides stability for our economy because it provides a place for safe investment, safe haven investment. And, of course, it's the banksters.
To watch more clips from our programs, hit the Watch More Videos button over here. And please be sure to hit the handy-dandy subscribe button so you'll always be up to date. Tag, you're it.